Hi, this is the third of 5 videos on MySQL as part of the web app development course at the University of Strathclyde. Today we're looking at showing the details of a person. Previous videos we've set up the server, we've set up a contact list, we've created a pop-up menu which allows us to pick a person. Today we're going to show the results of that, and the next 2 videos after this we're going to insert a new person and edit them. In the book, it's these chapters 8, 9 and 10. And today we're going to build on the previous video code to create a form and then handle that form's submission of a user ID to show the details of the person that was picked from the menu. Okay, so on a web server, we've currently got this code, so we can select a person. Okay, and that menu is populated from a database search. And here we've got the database in phpMyAdmin. Okay, so over in NetBeans, we had this code. We actually want to wrap all this up in a form now. I may as well do that outside the PHP because it's just easier to type outside the PHP. Remember, with form submissions, you have to do an action, and that's the name of the script. So we'll just go show.php. As good a name as any. Method, may as well use a get. That's useful for debugging because we can actually see things. And as so you've got to make 2 decisions here. Get is useful because you get to see the parameters on the URL, so you can check that you're doing things right. You've also got to think get or post, which is more natural. Get is more natural for showing elements because you can bookmark the displayed page, and that's kind of what we want here. Post is better for when you're making changes to the database. We're not going to make any changes here, so get is better. So that's the start of the form tag. End of the form tag is after this, because in here we've got our select object, okay, which is given different values. We have to give our select object a name. I'm going to call it ID. So I'm putting quotes in there that are needed in the HTML, so I have to put \quote in my PHP so it's visible. Okay, if I save that, let's just have a look at that. Okay, no visual changes, but if you view the page source, then we've got form action equals show.php, method equals get, select, that's looking good. So if we, kind of need a submit button. Yeah, okay, so we'll stick that outside here as well. So we'll just have a input type equals submit. Just leave it with the default name, that's fine. Refresh. Hooray! So if I pick Fred, it says show.php ID equals 1. Okay, we've not written it yet, so we'll get an error. Mary, show.php ID equals 2. So our menu is working. We just have to write the show.php. New PHP file. Show. We'll do the usual of copying the blank file over. We won't close the window. Show contact. Okay, we might want to actually change that. We'll come back to that in a minute. Might be good to show the person's name there. But let's just leave it at that just now. Here I'm going to do our PHP. In fact, because of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bunch of PHP right at the beginning. And we'll build up a set of variables here, and then we'll start our HTML. Okay, just makes it a little bit easier. Now we're going to do the same as we've done here. much the same as we have here. So I'm going to copy all of that, paste it in here. Okay, it's indented it too far, so I may as well fix that. Just Shift Tab takes it back out. Yeah. So we do want to include my password file. You don't have to do that if you're typing your password in here. Just be careful where you store your password and the preferences on the files. Make sure you can't see these files from the client side, but if anybody's got access to the server, you've got to think about visibility of your password. Anyway, we connect to the database, that's all the same. We're going to issue a command. That's going to change. So I'm just going to stick a fix me there, or a to do even. We get the results back. If there is a result, if there's no result, we will die because it's failed. If there's no rows, we just won't do anything. Otherwise, we have to do something in here. Okay, and that is probably going to change as well. Okay, we're not outputting a select, so let's get rid of that. And then we close the connection. Okay, so that's a very basic template of everything we're going to do. We're connecting to the server, we're issuing a query, we're handling the results, and we're closing the connection. So what query do we have to issue? You can do that with a search on phpMyAdmin. So if we search for ID equals 2, I can get it then it shows select star from WAD phone book where ID equals 2 and the limit thing. Create the PHP code, copy that into NetBeans, replace that line with that, hit return. Okay, we can take out the pagination thing, so we don't need to limit it. So we now have select star from WAD phone book where ID equals 2. Okay, that will give us person 2's ID. Let's live with that just now. If the result's okay, here we still have the while loop. So we will only get one result because ID is unique, but we may as well keep the standard while loop so that we're not bothering to change that code. What we'll just do just now is I will just output a paragraph with, in fact, I can cheat. I can go back here and I can undo a long way. Can I undo far enough? Yay! Copy that, and then redo. Paste that in here. So what I've got there is I'm just echoing the rows ID, name, email, phone, Twitter, and Facebook. Remember, they come from these names, so they're the field names, column names in the database. Okay, we're outputting them as a paragraph, so that will output person 2's details. It's not quite what we want, but getting there. Refresh that. We see person 2's details are output. So a couple of things are wrong. Person 2's details are always output. Well, it fits this time. But if I go back and I ask for Fred, we're still going to get person 2 because we've hardwired in the number 2 in our code. Okay. It's also showing it above the heading. If you view the page source, that's because we've output it here. So we changed our code so that we were doing things before we started outputting HTML to make it easier. So probably the thing to do here is just to create a variable called last matching row. Set that equal to that. Okay. We can then have a very small bit of PHP down here to echo the last matching row. refresh that. It's showing in the right place now. And there we go. Okay. So up here, we don't do any output. We're just setting up variables that we can use later on. If anything goes wrong up here, the output dies, so it doesn't happen. Right, so we have to deal with this too. So first thing we've got to do is we've got to get the value from the form. Okay, and if you remember, we want user ID equals $_ we sent with get, and then it's just the username, the name of the parameter, which is ID. Okay. Save that. And in here, instead of the fixed 2, we put user ID. Now it's double quotes we've used, so I can just put it inside the quote, and that's fine. Save. Refresh. Wait, hey, Fred. Mary? Mary. Fred. Fred. Awesome. It works. It's really good. Major security risk. And we're actually getting a warning because of that. So you must not access global variables directly. We talk about this in the security lectures, but that is a major security risk because a hacker can add stuff to the end of this. For example, the hacker could, on a form, type something like that, and then a delete table command, or a quit. Semicolon means in MySQL what's following is another command, so it will issue that will get appended to this, so it ends up looking like that. And the way to solve that, how do you solve that? So you make query safe PHP MySQL, and you're looking for, so remember there's MySQL and there's MySQLi. We're using MySQLi. Okay, so you use MySQLi real escape string. Okay. And you have to give it the database link or call it on the connection and pass it the string. So example down here. So we've got our connection, and then MySQLi real escape string city. Okay. So instead of doing that, I should do, so I called it con real escape string, and pass it that. Okay. What that does is, strangely in NetBeans it doesn't get rid of the error, but what it does do is it will escape any characters in the string that may be interpreted by MySQL. So you can read all the details in this page. But basically it escapes special characters in the string for an SQL statement, and it takes into account the current character set of the connection. That's why you need the connection. That is the first level of security, and we'll talk more about that in the security lectures, but you must always do that whenever you're using a parameter that's come from the browser, otherwise you're open to hacking. Check that works. Yep, it makes absolutely no difference because we don't have any special characters. And that's us. We've got our menu. We hit submit and we see the results of that person. Okay, we could format it much better, but we're getting the results. Next time, we'll show how to insert a person into the database.